I, Dr. Reverend Gilpin. I learned about the music of Joy Oladokan when Brett was preparing today's service, and Lisa suggested that we use two of Oladokan's songs, Sunday and Jordan, which you've heard today. I had not heard or heard of Joy Oladokan before her lyrics captured my attention, intrigued me, and made me ask Brett if I could say a few words today. So I'm grateful to Brett and to Lisa for the opportunity to reflect on these two songs this morning. Oladokan was raised by her Nigerian immigrant parents in Casa Grande, Arizona, which is south of Phoenix, about halfway to Tucson. Growing up, she was keenly aware of the differences between her household and those of her friends. Her life took a crucial turn at age 10 when she began playing the guitar after watching a video of a Black guitarist named Tracy Chapman. The Christian church was also a major part of Oladokan's youth, but it eventually became a hostile environment for her after she made the decision to come out of the closet as a gay woman. Oladokan's songs are meditations on her personal experiences, both her social experiences and the internal experiences of reckoning with her challenges and with her hopes. Those internal challenges are evident in some lyrics I found in a song from her first album, In Defense of My Own Happiness. Someone that I used to be always saw the worst of me. Someone that I used to be always saw the worst of me. In an interview for the magazine Rolling Stone, Oladokan reflects, "I never thought I would be this person in this way and feel as whole and safe as I do." The album marks the internal journey of how I got there. Oladokan meditates regularly, and Rolling Stone finds this meditative quality deeply embedded in her music. Anger, sadness, and grief, says the author, are all present, but so are hard-won optimism and gentle reminders that it's possible to survive and even thrive amid chaos. How did her religious upbringing, both its formative insights and its sometimes hostile norms, influence the internal journey by which Oladokan became her present self? In her words, how she became to be this person in this way. First, here's the professor failing. I've got a 1 and a 2 and a 3. First, notice that in the poem Sunday, the day Sunday comes alive. Sunday is in a dialogue partner to whom Oladokan appeals for help. I'm struggling. In part, this is the personification of the community that surrounds her each Sunday morning. But equally important, I think, it is her sense that the space itself is alive, responsive, and encouraging to her interior meditations as she seeks to orient herself in her social world. Carry me, she says to Sunday. Wash me clean. Bury me under the weight of who you need me to be. Can't you see I'm struggling? Lift me up again. Can you hear me now? Sunday, as a space of interior reflection, is alive. It's responsive. It's the process area, you might say, within which Oladokun is struggling to find herself. Second, and much more generally, the world's religions are built on stories that are told, retold, adapted, and reinterpreted across centuries. These very specific stories thus become overarching stories through which individuals shape and evaluate and transform their own lives. In these religious narratives, even a single name can become a micro tale that evokes new insights into our lives. From Oladokun's music, a clear example is the river's name, Jordan, a crucial name in the Hebrew Bible and the New Testament. The name recalls a pivotal moment in Joshua 3:16. Joshua repeats and extends and transforms an earlier story of Moses and the Exodus by carrying the Ark of the Covenant across the Jordan into the promised land, the land that Moses had only seen from afar. In 2 Kings, the prophet Elijah strikes the Jordan with his cloak, the waters part, and he and Elisha cross on dry land to the other side, where Elijah transfers his prophetic office to Elisha. Think for a minute about how the relationship with her family is working in these two poems. In some ways, she's inheriting who they are, who Elijah was. And in other ways, as the new prophet, transforming and becoming something different. These biblical stories work this way again and again. They're never the same, even though they're very specific. Or, last example, also from 2 Kings, the military commander, Naaman, is cleansed of leprosy by following the instructions of Elijah and washing himself 7 times in the Jordan. As Sunday would have it, I feel like I'm stuck in the wrong skin. She knew this story. And equally, the kind of internal washing that occurs in the Gospel of Matthew when John baptizes Jesus into his new vocation. Oladokun not only affirms these narratives, but also dramatizes the ways in which religious communities can betray their own identity-forming stories. The song Jordan combines biblical imagery with her story of personal reckoning. They drowned me in the Jordan, and they walked away from me. Notice the difference from the biblical stories, where you throw your prophetic cloak down and the waters part and you cross on dry land. Here, the water remains, you're thrown into it. And rather than being washed clean, as in the Sunday story, you're washed up on the dry land, on the land, on the coast, on the edge of the river. They drowned me in the Jordan and they walked away from me, she sings. So, final point, and a difficult point, and one that we're not going to solve this morning or any individual morning, but must solve over and over again. How do we build our personal identity and our collective identity around stories of who we are that do not depend on excluding some group of people in order to create the boundary that identifies who we are? James Baldwin understood this very well, brilliantly, in the middle of the last century. And he made the point that the intractable, the unchangeable, the unyielding hostility of white Americans toward Black Americans was because white identity was bound up in the image of who we are not and was strangely dependent on the otherness of Black Americans. If they're not other, then who am I? Who could I be? Because the identity is created in this negative strategy of building yourself on what you're not. James Baldwin, of course, was in a perfect position to understand from his personal experience that this same negative identity could be and was being created in relationship to LGBTQ people. There's always an undercurrent of anger to my music or to what I do, says Oladokan. It's a healthy emotion. If you channel it in whatever way you can actually create a lot of beautiful things. This is the life I want, and this is the life I know I can build, she says. I'm going to need a combination of my own internal determination and luck or blessings or whatever you want to call it to get that done. I found love, I found hope, and I'm moving forward. That second stanza of Jordan, I think, captures this, what I'll call positive formation of identity, not without its anger, but not dependent on a negative dismissal of some other part of the human race in order to build up the borders of who I am. That is where you found me, grace and whiskey on your breath. You pulled me back on my feet and taught me how to dance again. Now we're building our own promised land. On this new ground we stand. God bless the work of our hands and make good on our plans, because now I've found love. There's no turning back. Thank you.